everyone, it's Helen here. Today I will be making another type of Vietnamese noodle soup called Bánh Canh. Bánh refers to items like cake or noodles that is made from flour, and Canh means soup. In some countries you can buy the dried or pre-cooked Bánh Canh noodle at the Asian store. But I can't really find it here in Germany, so sometimes I buy the Japanese udon to substitute, because the Japanese noodle and the Bánh Canh look quite similar. But sometimes I make it from scratch. So in this video I will show you two ways to make the Bánh Canh noodle from scratch. And then in the later part I will show you how to make two types of Bánh Canh, which is Bánh Canh chả cá and Bánh Canh cua. The final product will look something like this. Let's get started. Method number 1. In a mixing bowl, mix 1 cup of rice flour, 1 cup tapioca starch, half a teaspoon of salt with 1 cup of boiling hot water. Mix well with a spoon, and when it cools down a little, knead with your hands into a soft non-sticky dough. When the flour has turned into a soft, nice dough, you cover and let this rest for about 30 minutes to reduce the strong flour smell. Next, sprinkle some flour on the working surface and then using a rolling pin to roll the dough flat. The flat dough should be around a 1/4 inch thick. Then cut into strips. The noodles should be as thick as a chopstick. About 3 inches long should be good enough. There you have it, freshly homemade Bánh Canh noodle. You can add it directly into the soup pot or cook it separately. The noodle for Bánh Canh can be made from rice flour, tapioca flour, and sometimes wheat flour, or a mixture of those. The recipe is very flexible. You can adjust the ratio to your preference. Use more tapioca flour if you like chewy noodle, use less if you want it softer. For the second method, you mix 1 cup of rice flour with 1½ cup water. Also add 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil and half a teaspoon of salt. Then microwave for about 2 to 3 minutes until the flour mixture is like half cooked and still a little liquidy. Then add in 1 cup of tapioca starch and stir well until well combined. The flour mixture will have a consistency of porridge or something like that. To make Bánh Canh from this, I'm gonna use a special tool. Well, this is originally a tool to mash potatoes and baby food, but I bought it for none of those purposes, but rather to make Bánh Canh, and it works really well. So I transfer the flour mixture into the potato ricer and then press gradually and continuously to release the noodle into the pot of boiling water. If you don't have a potato ricer like this, you can use a piping bag or a thick plastic bag and cut out a small hole at the tip and then press to release. The noodle is cooked when it's float to the surface, then transfer to a bowl of cold water and then drain. If you want, you can also skip this step and press the noodle directly into the soup pot later. Bánh Canh is apparently the most versatile among all the Vietnamese noodle soup dishes. The soup base you can cook from anything like pork, chicken, fish, or crabs. And the topping you can put fish cake, shrimp balls, mushrooms, Vietnamese ham, whatever you like. So today we are making Bánh Canh chả cá, the Bánh Canh with fish cake, and Bánh Canh cua, which is Bánh Canh with crabs. For any kind of Bánh Canh, we always need coloring oil from annatto seeds. So let's make it. Heat half a cup of oil and then add the annatto seeds
and fry until the oil turns into a light red color. Do that for just 30 seconds on medium-low heat, and then strain oil and discard the seeds. To cook the soup base for bánh canh, bring water to boil and then add pork bones and cook for about 5 minutes. Then dump out the whole pot and wash the bones well under cold water to clean all the impurities. Then transfer the bones into a clean pot filled with water. Add 1 peeled onion and salt. Then cook on medium heat for about 1 hour, occasionally skim off the foam. Then add seasoning powder, salt and fish sauce to your taste. Then add our freshly homemade bánh canh noodle and cook until done. After that, add in fish cakes and coloring oil. Finally, transfer to serving bowl, garnish with chopped spring onion or Vietnamese mint rau ram, and serve. To make bánh canh cua, we also need the pork broth like we cooked earlier, and some extra ingredients like crab meat, crab chunks, and prawns. Season these seafood ingredients with salt, pepper, fish sauce, and red shallots, and then set aside for 15 minutes. Next, in a pan or wok, fry chopped garlic and shallot until fragrant, and then add the crab meat and prawns and stir fry until cooked. Add in some coloring oil for a nicer color. When it is done, transfer to a bowl and set aside. Next, in a large pot, heat some vegetable oil and then toss in the crab chunks. Stir fry until the crabs turn into orange color. Then add in the pork broth or chicken broth. Bring to boil and season to your taste with seasoning powder, salt, and fish sauce. You can add the bánh canh noodle directly into the pot or cook it separately. So transfer into the bowl, top up with the crab meat and prawns, and then garnish with some spring onion or Vietnamese mint, some more coloring oil. So we are done! Unlike other noodles, bánh canh can be eaten with a spoon, and it goes really well with some fried breadsticks.
So I hope you get an idea now how to make bánh canh at home, and you will create your own version of it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye!